Deathbed confessions can be confusing. Sometimes dying patients make perfect sense. They say the last things they want their loved ones to know. Other times, what dying patients say may make no sense at all. A dying person is often under the influence of many medications, so they are not completely lucid. A man named Carl Cimento was sitting next to his dying aunt when she said something that shocked him. Carl wasn't even sure if what she said was true. In 2004, he was sitting next to his Aunt Jen. His aunt had had a long illness and the doctors said she wouldn't live much longer. Before she died, Jen told Carl to look under the sewing machine. She told him that there she had kept the money she had saved for Carl for years. Carl didn't know what to say. He didn't know if his aunt was in her right mind. He had never heard her talk about such a treasure before. Nevertheless, he decided to look to see if what his aunt said was true. Carl went to his aunt's sewing machine. He remembered her sitting on it for hours, sewing clothes, curtains, and tablecloths. The machine in his aunt's house in Staten Island brought back old memories. She threw the machine away, and the treasure fell into her lap. When he opened the newspaper-wrapped package, he realized it was a painting. When Carl created the newsprint, he saw that the treasure was a recreation of Pablo Picasso's Woman in a Cape. Carl, a New Jersey publishing executive, believed the recreation was made by Picasso himself years after he painted the original. This was not the first time he had seen the painting. When he was younger, he and his older brother had seen it on the wall of his aunt's house. They had nicknamed it the Woman in the Feathered Hat. Carl thinks his uncle bought the painting from a street vendor in London. He thinks his brother-in-law bought it when he was fighting in the Second World War. At that time, many areas were being bombed or looted. Many items found in this way were sold on the street. Carl remembers a little bit about how his brother-in-law told him how he got the painting. He estimates that his brother-in-law paid somewhere between $10 and $30 for the painting. Carl wanted to find out if it was really Picasso who painted it. He decided to take the painting to an expert in New York. The expert he spoke to looked at the painting for 30 seconds and told Carl that it was a forgery. It wasn't worth more than $10. Of course, that's not what Carl wanted to hear. He asked how she knew so quickly. The woman said she could tell by the colors that Picasso hadn't painted it. She said that the paint used was exotic and rare at the time, and that there was no way Picasso could have painted it using those colors. He decided to find another expert to get a second opinion. He didn't want to believe that this treasure his aunt had talked about on her deathbed was a forgery. He took the painting to the Art Materials Analysis Center in Westmont, Illinois. There he met Dr. Kennedy Smith. Dr. Smith didn't just take one look at the painting and dismiss the man. He took some paint samples from the painting and tested them. The test confirmed that the paint used was popular in Europe in the 1930s. This gave Carl hope that Picasso might have painted it. Dr. Smith ran more tests and found half a fingerprint. He compared them with Picasso's and found real proof that Picasso himself had painted the picture. Carl couldn't believe it. How had the first expert pushed the painting aside and said it wasn't worth more than $10? He was so happy he didn't believe him. When Carl found out that the painting was painted by Picasso himself, he decided to have it appraised. He took it to Richard Bali, an art believer living in Florida. He found out that the painting was worth around $13 million. He couldn't believe his ears. The painting was going to make him a millionaire. Carl was grateful to his Aunt Jen for this incredible gift. He was overjoyed that his aunt's treasure turned out to be a real treasure. His dying aunt told him to look under the sewing machine, and Carl found a treasure worth $13 million.